Welcome back to the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series, everyone. I really appreciate you guys spending some time with me on the channel today. And as always, welcome back to Coach Carter and Season 2 of the Fordham Rams rebuild. Last time around, we took on Utah State in their venue to open up Season 2. We'd hang with them for a half, but our efforts fell way short. We could only post 19 second half points against a scary defensive club, as Murphy and Higgins were combined 3 for 17 shooting, but we did see impressive outings from Stan Scott, Fabian Swanson, and rookie Dustin Black. But the most concerning part of it all, this loss felt very, very similar to many losses we took last year. Much like Season 1, after opening as a road underdog, we then have a tune-up game at home, this time against Ivy League opponent Yale. Remember, Manhattan was our home opener last year, and they shocked us. So we're going to try to pretend that didn't happen as we meet Jared Godwin and his Yale teammates. The Bulldogs lost a lot of scoring due to some graduations, as Godwin enters this season as their leading returning scorer at around 7 a game. Expect some decent three-point threats and two-guard Jonathan McPherson, and also expect to face a lot of zone tonight. Yale only sports one player above 6'6", so expect to see some matchup problems for the Bulldogs, and there's really no reason why we shouldn't dominate the interior tonight. Well, we got 3 new players in the rotation this season, 2 freshmen, a JUCO transfer, getting their first taste of home basketball here at their new home here in the Bronx. And the next course of action, I believe, would be to work on getting some more fans in these seats as Cade Sorensen wins the tip-off against the Yale Bulldogs. No surprises there. Preston Murphy giving it to Fabian Swanson, who fires immediately. No good, but Cade Sorensen on the glass. No reason why he should not feast tonight in the middle on both sides of the floor. So now, tied up 2-2, we're going to see Xavier Peretta, the point guard for Yale, turn it over. We are pressuring him on his drive. Murphy coast to coast. Nice run out opportunity that was all started by his deflection and Higgins' high IQ to pick off that pass. So 8-6 now inside to Eric Nardi, who's their second returning leading scorer. No avail there. Somehow we see Preston Murphy fit that pass in there. Not on the first attempt, but on the second one it would go for Evangelo Higgins. A quick 2 baskets for number 3, who also struggled just like Preston Murphy in the Utah State game. But then again, I believe pretty much everybody on this Fordham lineup did, as there is Jonathan McPherson, who made 34 tray balls to lead the team a season ago. 9 minutes left to play now, as we now see Cade Sorensen at the free throw line trying to improve on his 55% he shot a season ago. This one's off, but it's Stan Scott with a very impressive tip-in. Stan Scott led the team in points against Utah State, including knocking down 2 threes in that game. But this time, a nice swim move over the Yale Bulldog, trying to box him out for 2 gritty points there. Stan Scott continues to impress as he finally becomes a starter. Some good ball movement against the Yale zone today. We expected a lot of this as Evangelo Higgins steps up in the far side corner. Dustin Black, great assist there. He's someone who is also turning heads in the Utah State game. He had 7 3-for-3 shooting as he now checks in for Preston Murphy. 19 apiece though, Yale on top, and here's Charles Seabrandt, the 6th man for the Bulldogs, taking the lead right back. 5:11 left to play, and it's not looking so great here. It's been a couple minutes without a basket. Hopefully we're not seeing another dull, stretch of offensive possessions for the Fordham Rams. Well, Dustin Black's going to change that. The freshman hits one from the parking lot, his second on the season, and then we take it away with our press. Swanson on the other end, all set up by Murphy, who continues to see the floor well. 26-24, 2:39 left to go. High post to Sorensen. Murphy top of the key as he wants to get it going, however, with his own shot, but he continues to struggle here in the early goings of his first season as a point guard. And then on the other end, it's Amir Holiday, who's caught in no man's land as the Bulldogs run the break. They're already in the bonus. So Bulldogs shooting a lot of free throws here. They extend the lead 31-24. This is feeling a lot like the Manhattan game and honestly the beginning of season 1 as Fabian Swanson inside. Now he's rejected by Eric Nardi inside. Running the break, it's Jonathan McPherson, and then Amir Holiday picks up foul number 2 on a pretty questionable call there. Looked like all ball to me for the former D2 baller, but I guess the refs thought otherwise. Holiday and Dustin Black and the entire crew's expression says it all. So we got one more chance to at least cut this to 1 possession. I mean, just like last year, we struggled as underdogs on the road, and now we're in danger of getting upset by a pretty weak opponent. 4 seconds left. Murphy tries to find Fabian Swanson, who rips it clean from the corner. First half assist number 4, number 4, as Fabian Swanson now finishes the half with 5 points. We know he can stretch it outside a little bit at that 4 position. He made a couple threes last year, and here comes a big one to hopefully at least get us going. Offense hasn't been too much of an issue, surprisingly, in this game. It's just been getting stops, but finally they cool off a little bit. Sorensen with rebound number 9. Scott finds my boy Evangelo Higgins, who continues to have a good day. He's approaching double-digit figures. So 44-49 to play now as we approach. It's Amir Holiday who puts the ball on the deck, looks for some assistance, and it'll come in the form of Preston Murphy, and it's just off, but look at Sorensen fighting inside. Rebound number 10, and flying in, it's Corey Terrell. Let's go. We got a lot of size in there now as Corey Terrell, 6'10" for the JUCO transfer. Those two guys should be having a field day, and I think the extra height is helping us inside. We've been winning the rebounding differential as Grant Namick is now sent back by Preston Murphy, and he grabs rebound number 5, and we'll do it again. We'll run it back with Corey Terrell for his second straight basket. 44 apiece, but we would not be done there. Amir Holiday grabs the steal, and he's not called for the foul this time. 4-3, it's Evangelo Higgins. All right, 14 points and a timeout would ensue. Yale's starting to feel the pressure. They're starting to come back down to earth a little bit as our boy Evangelo Higgins knocks down three-pointer number 2 and now leads both sides in scoring on the day. So jumping ahead once again, now a 6-point advantage for Fordham with around 6 to play. And Namick finds Godwin, who's been quiet today. Then Jonathan Swift, who's the Yale Bulldogs starting center at only 6'6". No avail there for mid-range as Murphy grabs rebound number 6. Man, I really wish he was shooting the ball well today because in terms of assists, rebounds, and steals, Murphy's played an awesome stat sheet stuffing game as Sorensen, great powerful move on the right block. And that will give him a double-double. Like I said, I had high expectations that Sorensen was going to come in here and eat, and he would. And it would be his effort down low and Higgins' effort on the outside that would give us a 10-point advantage with 36 seconds left to play. And how about Higgins? He's actually in search for a career high in points right now, and beating the press once again and finishing it off with a strong layup would give him just that. 25 points for Higgins as we pull away here at the end. These Bulldogs kept it close for a half, but we stopped settling. We shot a lot of free throws tonight as Higgins pours in that career high with the help of 6 free throws. But don't let that take away from Cade Sorensen's first ever career double-double, a nice bounce-back effort from his dreadful Utah State performance. Murphy, like I said, had a nice all-around stat line as you see, but again, he struggled shooting the rock, which is a shame because once again, I think he played well. 7 boards, 6 dimes, and 3 takeaways from Murphy. We did a really nice job not shutting down and getting down on ourselves after some shots should have fallen our way and some calls didn't go our way. We stuck together for our first win of season 2, and we would eventually get another tune-up game, as you'll see in 1 second, in this preseason tournament, which is hosted by the University of Missouri. It's Furman out of the SoCon as our first round opponent. They're coming off an ugly 52-47 win on opening night against South Alabama. Safe to say there is no excuse for us not to have a winning record after today, and that would be a first for this series. The closest we ever got to a record above 500 in season 1 was whenever we were 3-4, And then, of course, you guys know we ended up finishing that year losing 16 out of our next 19. So a small moral victory is also on the line today for the first time in this series. We're trying to get back above 500 as we hop into our preseason tournament hosted by Mizzou. So the Furman Paladins get the Brock for the first time tonight and already find Jake Saman, their top scorer from that opening day game. He knocks down a three-pointer, and Furman already off to a pretty nice start, 7-2 now as we jump forward a little bit. Only one basket in the first 2.5 minutes, and it would be Cade Sorensen for the first one and for the second one. He's coming off obviously that double-double, and he's looking to stay hot, but outside of him, not much offense for Fordham so far, and not much defense either. We've already allowed 10 points as Stan Scott and the rest of these Fordham players look to get things going, but Preston Murphy with a bad turnover there. It's Max Claxton on the steal, and then finding a teammate, it's JB Covington. Again, an assist to Jake Saman. So 13-6 now. Furman already thinking upset as going back door. It's Covington, but this time it's closed down upon by Fabian Swanson. Huge block there. He actually had more blocks than you'd think last year. He actually led the team in only 15 minutes a game as Preston Murphy styling and profiling against these Paladins defense. And I know I sound like a broken record, but again, he's just trying to find anything to fall his way. It's kind of a perplexing situation. He's doing everything right, playing so well in so many different categories, but obviously shooting the rock is not one of them. 4 for 21 on the season, and he's still looking for three-pointer number 2 in 7 attempts. So we're trying to get him going as he checks out for Dustin Black. And speaking of threes, Dustin Black has been red hot behind the arc as he has only missed 1 3 in 4 attempts so far this season. 18 apiece now. Fordham's starting to get things going again as Furman's starting to struggle a little bit. It's Chen Lee who grabs a block on the perimeter, gets down and dirty, picks up a couple scrapes, and this will lead to a run out. Yes, Amir Holiday will try to finish, but he comes up a little short there. And he also comes up a little hobbled. Amir Holiday, a little shaken up. It was pretty congested inside, so maybe he rolled an ankle or something. It looks like a leg injury for Amir Holiday as he comes up a little bit limping as he actually heads into the locker room. So for the rest of the first half and perhaps more, we're going to be missing our 6th man who comes down a little awkward after a layup attempt. So now Chen Lee inside looking for our first lead of the contest, and he would deliver. Chen Lee, the freshman out of China, coming up big. 25-20, 4:14 left to go. Preston Murphy looking for the pick. It's Fabian Swanson, who has had 2 really good games so far this season. He was awesome in the Utah State game, one of the few guys who actually played well. And even though he only shot 4 for 13 against Yale, he rebounded well and had 2 blocks. Moving ahead now with a 3-point advantage under a minute to play. Obviously, you want to see a bigger lead from Fordham at this point in the game, but still, after the way we started out, we're looking pretty good as Preston Murphy hits 3-pointer number 2 on the year. Hopefully, this sparks something for Preston Murphy moving forward. A little quick hitter designed for number 4. 30-24 as this one's knocked away by Higgins, and then it's saved off the Paladins player. This would be Max Claxton, who had his pocket picked, and then Evo Higgins saves the ball off of him, giving us an extra possession here down in the stretch of the first half. 9 seconds with the shot clock showing 6. It's Fabian Swanson posting up. Murphy, 2 seconds. He'll attack. This one's off, but the tip-in flying in on the weak side. It's Fabian Swanson to give us an 8-point advantage going into the locker room. This has been a much different Fordham team than what we usually expect. Look at all this hustle. We got Higgins diving on the floor for loose ball, Chen Lee getting dirty, and then Amir Holiday putting his body on the line for a layup attempt. As you see here, coming down a little bit awkwardly. It was pretty congested there, and it looks like he kind of tweaked his knee a little bit. He will not be active for the rest of today. So our backcourt gets a little bit thinner as we move to a 9-man rotation, but we're now up by 11 with 14 minutes left to go as Preston Murphy, who has looked probably the best he has all season long here in that first half shooting the rock, will give it up to Evangelo Higgins, who puts on a beautiful hesitation move on Max Claxton. Took his lunch money earlier, and now he takes his ankles as he glides to the basket for two more. 45-33, 8:45 left to go. As Fordham's starting to finally pull away, well, we see Corey Terrell from the high post dumping it down low to Chen Li, who's had his best performance on his very abbreviated college career so far. Now 6 points to go along with that block shot he had earlier, and an awesome hustle play. So 47-35, it's Chen Li again facing a mismatch, and he will stick with it after the first one doesn't fall. All those purple jerseys around him, it does not matter. Chen Li with now 8 on the game. Timeout, Furman, as it looks like we're about to have this one in the bag. If we just keep doing what we're doing. Chen Li again receives a pass, and this time he's posting up from the left. Skip pass. It's KJ Bigsby now who checks in. The forward who received the red shirt last year, the tweener, that 6'7" freshman. There's his first college basket as he's seen some time here and there. Obviously up 13. He's going to see some time as Preston Murphy breaks this press. And just, I don't know what to even say about this one. How do you guard this? A head full of steam. Murphy making some plays. Nice to see him grabbing a 3-point play as we're about to head into the semifinal game of our preseason tournament after an awesome 22-point win, 67-45 on top of Furman. Nicely done again, guys. We're getting used to our roster. We're handling our business against these weaker opponents, which is very important for where this program is right now. As for the first time in this series, we do have a winning record next to our name. We are now 2-1 on the early season. Higgins was good again, but I think the game ball goes to our power forwards today. You can tell Chen Li is starting to learn a lot from Fabian Swanson. They play very similar styles of ball, and they both had a double-double combined together with 20 points and 11 boards. Awesome effort from our power forwards. Once again, though, Preston Murphy, he did show some flashes, but again, just not shooting the ball well. But he is impacting the game in other ways. But even though he's not playing like himself in terms of finding his shot, it hasn't affected us on the scoreboard yet. Back-to-back games with at least 67 points as a team is light years ahead of last year's team. So that should at least tell you how well he's filling in the point guard duties in other areas. So the Nebraska Cornhuskers, they come out victorious in the top half of the bracket. So in order to advance to the championship of the preseason tournament, we gotta go through a Big 12 program. We all know the Cornhuskers have never been a basketball program to fear, but we've also never beat a major conference team in this series, so this is another possible milestone that could await us. Nebraska had a nice offensive showing to open up their season. They posted 74 points against EMU with 3 players who managed to break 10 points, with Darian Reeves dropping 20, and he has a combination of speed and smarts you won't see from many underclassmen. 6'11" center Peter Ramelli scored 12 of his own, but he also sprained his wrist in that Eastern Michigan game, so you won't see him at 100% today with a brace on his wrist, as we are also not at 100% as Amir Holiday has been shut down for the rest of the preseason tournament, it looks like. Especially if we don't advance today and this is our last game, yeah, Amir Holiday is not active today. So we'll see if we can play spoiler a little bit here. We have not beaten a major conference team in this series as we try to change that, as we're coming off 2 pretty awesome offensive performances as we jump ahead into the highlights here. So 2 minutes into the game, 2 baskets apiece for each team as Fabian Swanson from 17 feet out as we take our first lead of the contest. Swanson staying hot. He and Stanton Scott, I know I'm talking about it a lot, but it cannot be understated how well they've been playing ever since grabbing those starting jobs this season. Here comes Darian Reeves, who is fouled on the mid-range shots, and what a bounce to drop. Coming off a 20-point performance, Evangelo Higgins will have his hands full with the 6'3" sophomore. 8-12 game now as we approach 5 minutes in the contest. Murphy, he's setting up a high post isolation. It's Cade Sorensen, who with his offhand will go over his left shoulder, and the southpaw gets 2 more. So we're actually running plays through Cade Sorensen now. The efficiency has been awesome after being a big question mark of his game last year. As on defense here, we see Preston Murphy almost getting burned, but a nice recovery and nice help there by Corey Terrell, who has actually been better than I would have thought on the defensive side of the floor. Murphy, pump fake and works to his left. Free throw line extended, looking good on that jump shot right there. But not a lot of offense so far for either side. Nebraska making 5 more points to take a 5-point lead as Higgins, tough layup there. But that's honestly how it's been for both sides. They were starting to cool down a little bit. We're going through a bit of a slump where we haven't scored in almost 2 minutes now. Travis Haggerty, the Nebraska point guard, with a beautiful pass there inside to Wheeler. Haggerty with his 3rd assist. And he's also got 6 points as well to this point. Nebraska is shooting the ball pretty well as they reach 20 points as a team. But we're still in neutral right now. Only 14 points for Fordham with 3 minutes left to go. This is the first time in I believe 5 quarters now where we've actually seen some struggles on the offensive end. Dustin Black, though, nice assist inside. Wow. Number 10 getting it done, whether it's behind the arc shooting the ball or making up some plays for his teammates. He beats his man off the dribble and a no-look dish to Cade Sorensen, who puts in 2 more points. So the crowd now starting to get into it. You see the 6-man bar starting to light up a little bit. It's Fabian Swanson now with a mismatch. Double comes. Great vision there as the 2 newcomers to the starting lineup getting it done there. Swanson to Scott, as now Scott has 4 points. For the first time in the Furman game, we saw Stanton struggle a little bit. He only shot 1 for 7, but he's already looking better than he did in that game on the offensive side of the floor and defense as well. He sends back Haggerty, but Nebraska gets it back in the scrum game, and we're out of position. So Peter Ramelli will head to the line, but man, Scott with the vertical. On paper, he's probably this team's best athlete, and we knew that coming in last year. He's got awesome vertical ratings. He is light on his feet, and he got up on that block. So perhaps maybe some momentum, even though they do knock down 2 free throws there, some momentum for Fordham. But here we go. The Cornhuskers on the move to begin the second half, but great job getting back. Preston Murphy knocks it loose, and then it's Cade Sorensen finishing it off on the other end for points 5 and 6. Great pass there by Evo Higgins. So 26-24 Nebraska on top, but Fordham still hanging around. It hasn't been the prettiest game from either side on the offensive end, which is definitely a change of pace. But here comes Preston Murphy grabbing the steal and taking it coast to coast. Preston Murphy with his 2nd straight game with a 3-point play. Maybe that's telling you something. Maybe he's looking to drive it a little bit more and not being as afraid and not settling as much as well. He had a pretty good first half in this one, as this one swings inside, and if you blinked, you might have missed a nice pass from Brett Vargas, the backup point guard for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Peter Ramelli, who's been a little bit quiet today, still nursing the wrist injury. He grabs 2 there. Nebraska back on top, but an even better look by my boy, Preston Murphy. Wow. A full court pass, touchdown for him as we retake the lead, 31-30, under 10 to play there. It's another delicious dime by my boy Murph. So high post now, Cade Sorensen, who hits Murphy on the backdoor feed. All right, looking good, Preston Murphy. I love what I'm seeing today. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy, but Preston Murphy on all facets of the game has looked better than he has all season long so far. And then a nice powerful move by Fabian, setting up Stanton for 7 and 8 on the game, making half his shots. Timeout Nebraska. And it was one that was needed as we've opened up the second half on a 15-7 run. Nebraska starting to feel the upset bug a little bit. It's Chris Ragland trying to finally knock one through. It's been a couple minutes since we've seen a Cornhuskers basket, starting to shoot themselves out of this game a little bit. But Chris Ragland, another backup guard who's probably been one of the better players today, as that's points 6 and 7, 3 for 5 shooting for Ragland. So now 35-39, Nebraska looking for some stops. That hasn't been their issue. It hasn't really been either team's issue, as in the half court, Fordham hasn't looked great today. But this one singles around to Stan Scott, who looks for another 3-pointer here on his senior campaign. 42-35, Fordham on top, as here comes Peter Ramelli inside for 2 points, taking advantage of the mismatch there. But once again, he has been cold. Only 2 field goals today for Peter Ramelli. Checking back in now, it's Fabian Swanson, Preston Murphy as he moves to the 2, Dustin Black, Cade Sorensen, And Stan Scott is the 5 on the floor and a pretty big part in this game. Oh my goodness, we need another replay of that. In a huge time in this game, Dustin Black decides now to pull out the behind the back dish. What a play there by the freshman. That'll get your bench into it. Evangelo Higgins and company watching from the sideline, liking what they see, as Higgins played a lot of this game so far, so he gets the break a little bit with Dustin Black playing well, as this one works around to Peter Ramelli at the top of the key. This one's off and it flies over the backboard as Fordham earns themselves another possession, already up 7. Like I said, Nebraska continues to shoot themselves out of this game, starting to feel the pressure of relinquishing a big first half lead. 46-39, if we can just sit on it and continue hitting our shots, then this one will come very easily for us. Stan Scott, the pick from Swanson doesn't work, but he'll flash the ball anyway. Tries the drop step move inside. A powerful display of finishing. 3-point play number 2 for Fordham today, the first of its kind for Fabian Swanson. 48-39 now. Another stop by Fordham as Nebraska struggling to even sniff 40 points today. 3:20 left to go. Taking our time on offense, it's Fabian Swanson, jab step 3-pointer. 11 on the game now for Swanson, his second 3-pointer on the episode. Timeout Nebraska. We're closing it out with some fireworks here. It looks like we're going to reign victorious for the first time in this series. We're going to knock off a power conference opponents. As Preston Murphy puts this memorable game on ice, it looks to be an 8-point win for Fordham. And for the first time, obviously we've taken down a big conference team, and we improved to 3-1 on the young year. It's awesome to see Murphy wrapping up that game with those free throws. This was the closest he looked to his season 1 self, as he was the player of the game, and he saw a lot of easy looks at the line today. He attacked more than he settled, obviously with 8 of 9 free throws, added 2 more assists, and again he held his own on defense. Everyone in the starting lineup, in fact, was full of energy on defense today, resulting in Nebraska only shooting 38% from the field today, and they pretty much more than likely shot themselves out of this one in the second half, only posting 30 points, but a lot of those were in garbage time. We also saw a couple big time blocks and rebounds as Stan Scott and Swanson continue to win over Coach Carter's trust. It has been an awesome treat to see them get starters minutes this year after coming off the bench last year and making the most of them. I mean, hey, it's not Kansas or Texas Tech, but it is a Big 12 roster that we just beat to improve to an impressive 3-1 record, halfway to our entire win total from season 1. We only had 6 wins last year. We're already halfway there in 4 games, guys. Things may be looking up, but we still have some things to sort out as the championship of our preseason tournament awaits us next episode against, drumroll please, the Indiana Hoosiers, as they made it out their side of the bracket without much issue. And you gotta think right now, if we can show up and hang and play well against Indiana with a trophy on the line, it's gotta make you feel pretty good on where the rebuild is long term right now. Maybe we're a little ahead of schedule. It's nice to finally be playing some meaningful basketball in this series. It took us a while, but we're finally playing for something important the next time you see me. So as always, thanks for coming by today. Really hope you enjoyed this episode. Next time you see me, we'll be battling Indiana for a banner. We're going to be doing some simulating, and we'll also be seeing if our winning has led to any recruiting progress as we check in on the recruiting board and the targets that we have. And we're going to see where our recruits stand in the update. So we're actually playing for something next episode, guys. Playing for a trophy, playing for the preseason tournament title against the Indiana Hoosiers. So I cannot wait to see if we show up or not in that one. So it's going to be a big time game for us. And I just want to say take care, everybody. I hope you stay tuned for more here on College Sports Revived. And I hope you enjoyed the episode today. I'll see you guys around. Take care. Peace, everybody.